Hello.
Sir. Hello, sir. We
Hello.
are not able to hear your voice.
So could you please start from the first slide?
Hello, sir, we are not able to hear you.
వాయిస్ ఏమి వినిపించట్లేదే సార్ వాయిస్ ఏమి వినిపించట్లేదు సార్
Hello? Hello, can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, we are able to hear, sir.
Okay.
We are able
Yes,
to.
we can.
Yeah, if you can hear, then go on mute now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just for them. See, we're referring to SAP HANA. And SAP HANA is just an data like any other database. Only thing is it's in-memory database where it does actually store data and process data in main memory. But doesn't mean that it does store every data into main memory. We have an option of specifying which data has to be into main memory, which data has to be into disk. We have a functionality called load and unload. When you say load, the data is loaded from the disk to the main memory, and when you unload, the data from the main memory is unloaded again. Okay? So we can control it through load and unload. And then SAP HANA is an appliance. Okay? When you say appliance, it is a software designed to work with certain specific hardware capabilities. That's where we specify it as appliance. And there are certain hardware partners like Dell, Cisco, IBM, HP, Fujitsu who actually manufacture hardware specific to deployment of SAP HANA here. Yeah? And then we also refer SAP HANA as a platform. This is very, very important. So SAP HANA, apart from being leveraged as a database where you basically store your data and then retrieve whenever you want, it is also referred as a platform. So when I say platform, it has got its own application server where you can develop your applications and deploy on top of it. That's what we refer it as platforms. So the application server in HANA, we refer it as XS engine, Extended Application Services, where you can go about developing your own applications and deploy it onto XS engine bus. Not only your own applications, there are any application which is designed to be deployed on it, we can deploy. For example, your Lumira server. Lumira server is designed to, we have a server application which is designed to deploy on HANA XS engine. So I can install SAP HANA Lumira server on XS engine. I can deploy it onto it. So it's like a web server where you can develop your applications and deploy onto it, which can respond to all HTTP requests coming from the different users. So when you say, so HANA can also be used as a platform. It will have its own XS engine, which is referred as Extended Application Server, where you can deploy your applications on top of it and which will respond to all the users who are running the request through HTTP or HTTPS requests. Okay. So as part of this HANA native development, we'll have two things. One is native development, non-native development. So when you say native development, what SAP has done is they've given certain native frameworks, say SAP UI5 for designing the front-end screen. Okay. And for backend, as it is, we have HANA database where you can build your database. And they've given some services like OData services or JavaScript or XML through which you can build your service. Having database, services, and able to design your front-end screen with UI5, we can develop your own application. That is will be called referred as HANA native development. When you develop your own custom applications leveraging the native framework like SAP UI5 or OData services, XML and JavaScripting and the database in the backend, we refer it as HANA native development. Say for example, if you want, you can also develop your custom applications on HANA by using Java, C, C++, .NET, ABAP, all these will be referred as non-native applications. Instead of leveraging the native framework, we can also leverage other programming languages to deploy applications on top of HANA. We call this non-native application. Okay. Now let's look at this. Let me get to this. So generally, whenever you say application, yeah, it must have some front end. Yeah. It will have a back-end database here. And it should have an application server which actually will build the bridge between the front end and back end. So front end, basically you're dealing with screens where the end user is interacting with it. We can refer to as UI, user interface. This will be the screen where end user of the application will interact with the application. That will be a UI front end. In the back end, you'll have the database, yeah, where you basically have all the response. Let's say you're building some application. let's say building some application, and your application needs to store some data that needs, let's say 20 or 25 tables, and you build all those tables into this backend databases. Now let's say in the front end you've been given with some button, let's say save. When user clicks on, let's say he enters all the data and then he clicks on save, then data should go and sit into what? Into some table. And let's say he's got some button like say show. When he clicks on this button show, it has to read data from the database and then show him onto the screen as a formatted report or in some grid or in some graphical element like chart or table or whatever it is. So to bridge between these two, we need to have an application server, or we need to have some services. We need to have some services which can respond to this. Let's say I do some request. I click on a button show. There should be some service here which can understand that command and read the data from the database and get it back to the front end of us. Okay. So whenever you say application, you must need all these three here. Right? We need to have some programming language to design your front end, and programming language to design your services, and database to store your database. A web service. Yeah. So what SAP has done is they've given something called SAP UI5 to design your front end screens. Now what is this SAP UI5? It's nothing but your normal HTML5 plus CSS, like cascading style, which is all formatting, and then with JavaScripting and with some ready-made libraries. When I say ready-made library, SAP has built in a lot of ready-made code. Let's say you want to bring in some table, there's some ready-made library for it. It means ready-made code, you just have to call that library and then call the relevant function methods and then get that. So all this combination together, I would refer it as what? SAP UI5, which we'll use it to design your front-end screen. Yeah. And then in the backend, it's like HANA itself is a database, so we can build all the database within the backend database of HANA. And then for services, we use OData is one, or we can use XMLA, or we can use JavaScript. We can use either of these services to respond to the request what is coming from the SAP UI files. Clearness? Like this, when you leverage this SAP UI file and these OData or XML or JavaScripting for designing your services, server-side JavaScripting, and then backend database together, we call it HANA native development. So this is like when you'll be leveraging this when you want to develop your own custom application by using HANA native framework. We use this. Same way, here instead of using SAP UI5 all this, what I can do, if I use ABAP here, let's say I can use ABAP as a front end programming language, and the backend would be my database HANA bus. That is an application. But I would refer to that as non-native application. ABAP, when you build application with Java, .NET, ABAP, or some C, C++, all this on top of HANA, we refer it as non-native application. So, because of this XS engine, extended application services or extended application server, which is a small engine, like a web server, where you can, by using this, you can develop your own custom applications and deploy it onto that engine and start running. Okay, so you understand this? So apart from develop your own applications, SAP has delivered a lot of applications like say Lumira server or Design Studio server. All those also can be deployed onto XS engine. For looking at Lumira reports or Design Studio reports, I don't need Enterprise. I don't need CMC. I don't need Launchpad. I don't need to have Vivo at all. I can have Lumira client. I can have Lumira Design Studio client and deploy these servers onto XS engine and develop my Design Studio Lumira dashboards and publish onto the server which is running on XS engine of HANA Studio, HANA database. That's the flexibility. Okay. Now, getting in details of this, that's what they're trying to explain. So, for browser-based or mobile-based front-end applications, we'll be using SAP UI5. Okay, SAP UI5 for the front-end, and we can also use client-side JavaScript for all the validations. Let's say you have a text box, whether you don't want that to be blank. For all those validations, I can use JavaScript into this. I said HTML5, JavaScripting, CSS, and ready-made libraries. All together, we refer it as SAP UI5. and we have got Access Engine where you can run your service. That's a server where you can deploy your services on top of it. The service could be built on OData, server cell, JavaScripting, or XML. Any of this can be leveraged to build your services. Till SP5, OData was only used to read, but now from SP9, OData can be used for reading as well as writing data back to the database also. Okay. And then for building the database, you can use SAP HANA to build your database. See, and then I need to have some logic. So I click some button. I just need to read data from database and then show it. Or if I just click save, the data should go get saved into my database. Or I need to do some logic. Okay. This is where it differs now. Very, very important. This is a point. Okay. Now look at this. See, even before, let's say we have ABAP system and backend is some databases. Okay. Let's say I have SAP HANA. Okay. I take SAP HANA as my backend and I use ABAP as a front end and I design some applications. Okay. For us, HANA is fast because it does process data in main memory bus. Okay. So like I give two cases. One is user executes some report. Okay. Your ABAP program goes to the database, reads all the data into the internal table, process it and sends it to the front end, prints the output in the front end. That is one way of executing the application. Okay. Another way is, look at this. For all the processing of data, I'll implement some stored procedure here. I implement some stored procedure. So user clicks on execute button. Your ABAP server receives a command and sends the command to HANA. HANA performs the entire logic and gives a result. Do you see a difference here? Previously, we were using database only to store data. All the processing of data was done at the application server level. But now if you see the second case, we are pushing down the application logic deep into HANA database. Because HANA is fast, it is a processing data in memory. I would like to reduce the time taken for movement of data from database to application server back. What SAP says is 60% of the application time is spent in reading data from database to application server and application server to database back. They want to eliminate that. So they want to push down the code to the database. So I get a request, your application server does nothing, just takes a command from the user and redirects that command to the database, and database will perform the activity for you and then gives a result for you. And all the processing is carried out in HANA here. So that's how the execution of applications is going to differ when you have HANA as a backend. Just having HANA as a backend will not improve your performance. We have to push down, we should pressurize it much. We should push down the logic deep into HANA database, then you won't have the performance. You getting what I'm saying? So now what they say is the functionality of the application server becomes very light. Okay, they're only for communicating from the front end to the back end. But actual logic will take place in the back end because it is more performance. It's giving you more performance. And they would like to eliminate the time taken to move the data from database to application server to database. That's again a logic. So that's what they're focusing on, developing applications where they try to push down the logic deep into HANA database. Even if you look at ABAP now, even if you look at ECC applications running on HANA or BW running on HANA, we'll have different way of writing programming now. It's not like we'll not write an ABAP program where we read into internal table. We'll not process it like that. We'll do something called ABAP managed database procedures, where you'll have a class, you'll have a method which will be declared as an HDB HANA database procedure. It will have scripting into it. We call that as HANA ABAP managed database procedure. So with this, we got program which is built with scripting in it. So when I execute this program, it actually executes the logic deep in HANA database, not in the application server. And I'm eliminating the time taken to move the data from database to application server, then process. I'm just pushing down the logic into database. So database is becoming strong with all the application server. That's the main motive. Yeah. Now here, look at this. So when you want to push down the logic into it's not so database is not just going to store data. It is also supposed to process your data in the database also. So to make it more faster of processing, what they've done is they've given something called SQL scripting. Like in Oracle, you have PLSQL. Here you will have what? SQL script. So you've got data stored in your database. I would like to process that. I need to have some mechanism of doing it. So I can, if it is ABAP server, I'll write ABAP language bus. if I want, or if I would like to push the logic deep into HANA database, I should write some language which my database understands. So that will be SQL script. So you can start push down the logic deep into HANA database by implementing it with what? SQL scripting. Okay, that is one. And they also have given something called CE functions, calculation engine functions. Within HANA database, you'll have a strong engine called calculation engine, which can perform, it's got its own instantiation process, or it has got its own style of execution, which is very fast. So what SAP has done is, say, normally when you want to read data from a table, what do you do? Say select star from table or select some columns from table. Let's say you would like to do some where clause on a table. Say select star from this table where you do. You have lots of select statements, right? What SAP has done is, for most frequently written logics for the selection, they have given some ready-made CE functions. So I want to read from a table. I don't have to go about writing say C select star from the table. I can just say there's a ready-made C function delivered by SAP for this C underscore column underscore table. That is a function which is ready, which is used to read from a table. So for most frequently performed operation, SAP has given something called CE functions, which gets executed on calculation engine, which is very fast. That's how it is. And one more thing is, we also have something called AFL, Application Function Library. When you say AFL, it will have two things mainly. One is business function library into it and predictive analytics library. When I say library, it's like ready-made functions which are implemented with C++ as a language. They've already used C++ as a language. They've implemented ready-made functions. One is called application function library, which contains two things in it. One is business function library, ready-made functions relevant to business, and predictive analytics library. There are ready-made functions which are relevant more to predictive analytics also. So we can use, instead of rebuilding your logic, we can use these libraries for business functions or predictive analytics. We can use these calculation engine functions which are ready-madely given for frequently performed database operations. Or if not, you can also get with what? SQL scripting or SQL. And then with using this, we can implement the complex calculations pushed down deep into HANA database. That's the target. So when HANA comes into picture, you always want to develop an application where the majority of the processing of data is done at the database level. So if I need to push down the logic into database level, I need to implement the code in a programming which my database understands. So it should be either SQL scripting or leveraging C functions or the ready-made library functions which are implemented C++ as a language. All this can be leveraged and we can push down the logic into HANA database. That's the target. Getting this? Yeah. And same way, if I use the front end, say on the front end, if I use ABAP instead of using JavaScripting or a UEFI, if I use ABAP or .NET or Java, what C, C++, then that becomes non-native application. So if you see ECC running on HANA, it is non-native. If you have BW running on HANA, it's a non-native application running on HANA database. Okay, but whether it is native or non-native, if you have an application running on HANA, your major point of focus would be about pushing down the logic deep into HANA database. Whether you're using ABAP or you're using .NET, whatever it is, we have to push down the logic deep into HANA database in the sense what? I need to implement entire logic in HANA database and I just have to use the application server just to call that whenever I want. In previous cases, we used to take the data from database to the application server, execute the logic and give it to front end or give it to the back end back. But now we'll go to implement the entire logic deep into HANA database using scripting or C functions or AFL functions. By using the front end application service, you will just trigger that code. That's it. So with this functionality, you're pushing down the logic deep into HANA database and you're eliminating the time taken to move the data from database to application server and improving the performance of that's the target. Even if you're looking at BW or HANA, you're writing your transformations, you write your start routine, end routines, all this. Even there, you won't have something called SAP HANA expert script routine, where you start writing scripting in the transformations, wherein you're pushing down the transformations of BW deep into HANA database. If I implement for BW to understand more, if I write my transformations with ABAP, so those logic will get executed in the application server. You're not getting any benefit. There are still customers who say, I've implemented HANA, but I'm still not getting the performance. Why? Bench car konte kada na, a speed tokkala kada. Ante HANA konte kada, HANA ese kada. Then you should put lot of pressure onto it. That is important. So even if you have HANA in the back.
Not getting. Hello.
Okay, see what I'm saying. if in BW you can implement transformations with ABAP. If I do that, what happens? All the data is processed at the application server. Then it's the same performance either you run on HANA or either you run BW on non-HANA database also. But once I have HANA in the backend, I must push down the logic deep into HANA database, which has got powerful engines in it, calculation engines. What I do is, instead of writing normal transformation with ABAP, I implement something called ABAP managed database procedure, where I'll have ABAP class, I'll have method which is declared as HANA based procedure, and I'll write scripting into it. So when I start writing scripting, then scripting is understood by my database. With that, the transformation logic is pushed down deep into HANA database. ఏ పని ఉన్నా మొత్తం దొబ్బేయాలి కిందికి HANA ఎంత దొబ్బితే అంత పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ అన్నట్టు. పుష్ డౌన్ అంటే ఏం లేదన్నా, పైన అప్లికేషన్ లెవెల్ పని చేయకుండా ఆ పని అంతా కింద హనాకి ఇచ్చేయాలి. అది పుష్ డౌన్ అంటే కిందికి దొబ్బాలి లాజిక్ అంతా. So no.
Can you tell him in English what you said now?
So he's asked me what is push down. I'm just explaining him. When I say push down, it's about pushing down the logic deep into HANA database. See, when I have ABAP server sitting on top of HANA, I have two options. I can either write my logic with ABAP, or I can either write my logic with SQL script. Now, which is better one? That's the point. See, if I'm writing with ABAP, I would have my ABAP programming which will read data from database into internal table, process it, and then give it back to the database. That is one case.
Okay.
Other cases, I'll have an ABAP program which will just instruct. I'll have a logic which is written as SQL script as a stored procedure. From the ABAP program, I'll just call that procedure. That is one way. If you look at the first case, I'm wasting a lot of time in moving data from database to application server and application server back to database. Okay, and if you look at second case, there's no movement of data from database out of database. That data is still sitting in database layer only, and the logic is implemented in the database. I just instruct the command to perform it. So data within the database is manipulated. So there's no movement of data out of database server. So that is improving your performance of application. You understand this?
Sir, what is the role of control flow logic?
That control flow logic is a services which tells, let's say you in the interface, let's say there are 5 buttons which say show, save, cancel. When I click save, I'll have a lot of commands, okay, lot of instructions to be performed. Let's say I've got 5 stored procedures in the backend, and the front end I've got 5 buttons. On the click of a button 1, I need to execute procedure 1. On the click of a button 2, I need to execute procedure 2. On the click of a button 3, I need to execute procedure 2. Who understands it? So there should be some service here where I'll have control flow logic in it, which understands the command from the user, understands the logic, and redirects the database to execute particular stored procedure. That is what logic. Control flow logic is like just about writing if condition, very light logic. It does not do anything. Now the application server just gap between the database and the front end. That does not take heavy load now. That's the point of focus. Okay, boss. I'll come to that. First, understand what do we have in HANA. Then let's discuss on how can I use this flexibility. So now we understand HANA is an in-memory database. It does store data in main memory, process it main memory, so you won't have high performance in it. And then we understood as an appliance, like it comes with certain hardware capabilities to be deployed. Then we understood it's a platform. If I have some server which is already ready-made developed to deploy it on top of it, I can deploy it straight away. Or you can develop your own custom application with HANA native framework or non-HANA native framework. All this is possible with what? SAP HANA. You have to push.
Here also using data load in database also. So clients are actually to acquire more software like that. It is using fast, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'll come to that. He's saying if I push down logic deep into HANA database, if I pressurize it a lot, obviously I need to have more hardware capabilities or more resources is consumed. So I need to have lots of resources in HANA, which is very costly for, right? Yeah. For me, bench is costly. For some person, bench is mandatory. There's always, for me, bench may not be necessity. For some other person, it is necessity. I will come to that. We'll see this later, but now this is very, very important. So we need to understand. See, before you think about learning HANA, you should understand. You understand what is HANA now. Now we're trying to understand how can I use it first. Knowing HANA, what kind of business requirements can be satisfied with SAP HANA? That is what we're trying to discuss. Ee HANA ni ela vaadachu ane question. That's what. We can use functions, we can use stored procedure, we can use ready-made libraries, what has been given, like ready-made. When I say ready-made library, again it's ready-made function delivered. It's about, if you want to implement your logic into database, it's about scripting, SQL scripting. Because your database engine will not, there's also, you also have R integration. We can also implement your logic with R language also. SAP HANA has got R language, you can also integrate, implement your logic with R language also. Okay. Yeah, so now what we're trying to understand is the use cases of SAP HANA. Now we know what is HANA. In what kind of business requirements we can think about leveraging SAP HANA. That's very, very important. Okay.
Sorry for disturbing. Can you repeat that? What is that language?
R
For radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
R language is something which is more suitable for statistical processing. So HANA has got R integration where you can also implement your logic by using R language. You can use SQL scripting or you can also use R language also.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this Cloud HANA, sir?
One second. Yeah. See, stored procedure like a function. You can either implement the complete code within your method or write it as separate procedure and call it. Either way, it's okay. It's like a function. You can call it separately or you can implement your logic within your body also. Either way, you can do. Yeah. What is it? From the online. Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, in HANA use cases, Cloud on HANA, what is the concept called?
I'll come to that. I'll come to one by one.
Okay. Yeah.
Now we're trying to discuss on HANA use cases. When I say use case, what is I'm trying to explain is, say now we know what is HANA. In what kind of business requirements or business functionalities we can leverage SAP HANA. That's the part. Okay, boss? Now first thing is SAP HANA is data mart. We can, and in the normal terminology, they're referring this as enterprise HANA, or some people are also calling it as native HANA also. We can refer it as HANA as data mart. Okay. Now when I say data mart, this is how it looks like. Just like you're trying to build a warehouse. By using SAP HANA, you're just trying to build a warehouse. Now look at this. So you'll have SAP HANA leverage a centralized database for as your EDW, enterprise data warehouse. And you'll be extracting data from SAP or non-SAP, anything it is. Like when you say instead of extraction, we call it data provisioning. By using different data provisioning techniques like BODS or SLT or DXC or smart data access, there's some other function like smart data quality and integration. We can extract data from SAP or non-SAP data and bring the data into SAP HANA and store the data into HANA, and on top of it, you can, within HANA, you have modeling capabilities. You can build virtualization models on top of those tables and expose them for reporting. This will be leveraging HANA as data models. Are we implementing data warehousing here? Yes. Are we not implementing the concept of data warehousing? So I'll be leveraging HANA as a centralized database. Okay. And by using different data provisioning techniques like BODS or smart data access or DXC, all this stuff, I would extract data from SAP or non-SAP data and bring all the data into HANA database and physically store data into tables, which we'll be referring as column store tables. On top of those tables, by leveraging HANA modeling capabilities, I will build virtualization models on top of those tables by using attribute view or analytical view or calculation views and expose them for reporting. This is one option. Getting this? Okay. So implementing HANA. So if there is a customer who is looking at implementing a warehouse, you can still go for SAP. Okay. Okay. Now now if you look at this, within SAP, there are a lot of technologies which overlap this concept. I can implement this data warehousing with BW. I can implement this data warehousing with different, like I can also use SAP IQ. You heard about Sybase. SAP has taken over Sybase, and most of the concepts come from Sybase into this. So there's also now for analytics purpose, SAP is also pushing towards something called SAP IQ, okay, which is a database from SAP, which is taken over from Sybase, or we can use HANA, or we can use BW. There are three multiple options. Yes or no? Once customer decides about going for SAP for implementing warehouse or data warehousing, it's got multiple options. I can go for BW, I can go for SAP HANA as a warehouse, or I can even go with SAP IQ, because SAP IQ is also really fast. Also columnar storage of database also. Okay. So recently we
Which
had
one will be better?
hello, yeah, what is it?
Yeah, which one will be better then?
I'm going to give you the justification here. Now recently we had a presentation provided to different customers. So what they were saying is, we want to implement data warehousing. Now different companies have to go and present them the solution that they have to go with. They decided for SAP. Now we have to propose them the different solution, whether they have to go with HANA or they have to go with IQ. Any option you think of, yeah. So what we said is, we will go with IQ. We said we'll use BODS and extract all the data into SAP IQ, and then we'll do reporting with business objects. That was our solution. Okay. So the question is, now as a solution architect, why did you propose this one? Why not BW, which is your favorite area, and why not HANA? Right? Now look at this. If you look at now first case, now why no BW there? Okay. Actually, what happens is, you know about business suite, right? ECC, CRM, AP, all this. Now what SAP does is, if I buy SAP business suite, ECC or CRM or AP or anything, okay, with 50 user licenses, your BW is free for you. Getting what I'm saying? If there's a customer who is buying SAP business suite with the minimum 50 user licenses, BW is given freely. The licensing of BW would be free. So, okay, but there is a condition supply saying they can only use this BW, only extracting data from that business suite into BW and then do reporting. They cannot extract from any other application. Getting what I'm saying? If there's a customer who is buying the business suite with minimum 50 user licenses, is been given with BW free licenses on BW. So they can use, when it is free, it is better to use what? BW in that case. They'll install BW and they upload all the data to BW as a warehouse and they'll do reporting. But in the conditions, you have to use this BW only as a warehouse for extracting data from the business suite what you have purchased from me. Apart from this, some 10%, 20% from flat files is okay. Okay, that is one condition. Suppose if you want to extract.
I think.
Hello, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me, yeah. Okay, that is one. Okay. So next case is, let's say now if the customer is want to extract from non-SAP, he doesn't want to use that SAP. There's a lot of non-SAP data coming in. Then he cannot use that license. He cannot use that free license what has been given. But still he can buy new BW. Getting what I'm saying? Okay, he can still buy a new BW system, again new licensing on BW, then where he'll push down all the non-SAP data, right? All right, good. Now what SAP says is, if you're extracting data from a non-SAP systems and you want only non-SAP systems and you want to set up a warehouse with BW, you're not really leveraging business content in that case. Then why do you want to set up such a huge server of BW for implementing warehouse? BW NetWeaver suite is because they don't sell BW separately. It is a complete NetWeaver suite, right? It will be very huge. So when you're only extracting data from non-SAP systems where you're not leveraging business content, because BW is really strong in business content. When you're not leveraging the standard content what I've given, why do you want to go with BW then, which is huge server to set up? And moreover, licensing is more costlier when compared to others, when compared to IQ also. That is one point of discussion. The next what we say is, since we're extracting non-SAP, I'm not using the business content of BW, then my option of BW is ruled out. So next option is, I've got two things. Either I use HANA as a database, or I implement with what? I implement the warehouse with IQ. There are two options here. Clear in this? Okay. If the customer has got huge amount of data, okay, really huge, okay, and then they would like to have reporting frequencies really in real time, means as and when the transaction is done, they would like to have the reporting, and there is huge amount of data, then would be HANA. And the data is not so huge, the number of transactions are not so huge, and the periodicity is really less, like some once in month or once in daily or like say hourly. They don't want any real time nothing. Then I can go with what? IQ, because even IQ does support columnar storage of databases. So within SAP technologies, you can implement warehousing in either of these cases. That is where analytics is moving towards now. Now, when you just can't say I'm a BW resource, you should say I'm an SAP analytics resource. When you say SAP analytics resource, you should be able to handle a warehouse implementation with BW, you should handle a warehouse implementation with HANA as a warehouse database, or even IQ as a warehouse database. That's the.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Some voice, unnecessary noise is coming.
Okay. In web, yeah. And IQ is also like a platform. So I said Access Engine, right? IQ also, even in IQ, you can deploy your own web service also. There is not flexibility. From SAP IQ itself, they brought in all these concepts into HANA. Not exactly in memory. There is a concept called RLVN, the role level versioning. With that, you can put some data into memory. It's not completely in memory. That's what I'm saying. If the customer requirement is that the data is not so huge, and they're not expecting any real-time reporting, they're okay running report once in a while, IQ is fine. And it's cheaper. Okay. What SAP is doing is they're not selling it as separate tools. Now they made that as grouping, analytics edition, edge series like that. So when you say analytics edition, you get IQ, SAP IQ for warehouse, and you get BODI, not even DS complete, not even data quality. You will get only data integrator, and you will get only SAP IQ as a warehouse and BO full suite. They refer that as analytics edition or platform edition or edge edition. They're selling the suite like that. And there might be a customer who's getting with HANA, that's a different HANA mechanism.
Which technology they use before HANA and
BW, right? Before these two were there, when you say data warehousing solution from SAP, it was only BW. Now with the involvement of IQ and HANA coming in, and BODS as ETL tool coming in, within SAP there are a lot of tools with overlapping functionality. When I say ETL, I can use BW extraction mechanism, I can use BODS, I can use a mechanism of SLT. There are a lot of overlapping, but the deciding which one to be used is a solutioning. So when you go to the customer, you should be able to propose a solution. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to leverage more of a business content, then and more of complex planning applications with BPC or IP, then it would be BW for big major of the customers. But if you're implementing a small warehouse where the data volume is really less and the reporting frequency is not real time, so okay, then it will be a like cheaper way of implementing warehouse. It would be a BODS with analytics addition with BODI or DS, SAP IQ for warehousing, and BO for reporting. And if the customer is really huge and don't want to use any business content, and the data is really huge and they want to have real-time reporting, then you can get into SAP. Now it becomes important for a customer who wants to have real-time reporting and has got huge amount of data, he is really facing a lot of problems with the performance. For him, that becomes important for him to go for HANA. HANA is costly, fine, but he is facing so many issues. He has already spent 100 crores, but is not able to leverage it. Then what? So that the 100 crores get the justification. Getting what I'm saying? That's how it is. Your problem is, yeah.
So if client having SAP CRM, video, and ECC, and also non-SAP systems, so they want to load the data to.
Then they'll use BW. That's what I'm saying. If the source is with SAP and non-SAP, then my warehouse would be preferably BW. If my source is completely non-SAP, let's say I'm using some PDF files, some flat file or something, then it will I'll try to get into this mechanism. If I've got BW along with the business suite, that is free. My licensing is free, so I would leverage BW. And moreover, with the new versions of BW, they made a functionality that you don't need to create any info. I can straight away leverage the metadata of the fields of the source itself to build my providers. I don't even need to create info.
BW is not a database, right? It's a database.
BW is a data warehousing application. HANA is a database which can be used to implement data warehousing application. There is a difference. And we can also say, if you want to have leverage BW along with high performance, I can also go with BW powered by HANA. I will leverage BW application because whenever you install BW, you have to install database first. You have to install OS, database, then kernel, then you will install ABAP stuff. So when you install a database, I can install with HANA first. So I can install SAP HANA. On top of it, I can install BW. So I can even then that could be hybrid combination where I'm leveraging functionality of BW as well as functionality of HANA. Mixed up approach, mixed model. You can also look at that solutioning also with BW on HANA or just core HANA, just BW, just with high. Any kind of data warehousing solution depends on the requirements of the customers. How much of volume of data they have, what is the frequency of the reporting they're expecting, are their sources SAP or non-SAP. Based on that, we get onto solution. Okay. Yeah.
So in future, they are telling that BW is you can ignore that one with only data things.
So now the question comes saying in future BW is out. No.
Because whatever BW.
I understand. That's what I'm saying. So even if I take the explanation what I said, if the customer has got source as SAP, then BW becomes really important because I would like to leverage the business content. So if you see majority of the customers who are implementing warehousing with SAP, obviously they would have the backend as SAP. At least if not 100%, 90% you would find customers with ECC or CRM or something in the backend only go with data warehousing implement with SAP. In that case, BW is still there, not to worry. The customers who have got already BW will migrate their database from non-HANA database to HANA, then use it. So I already have BW. Now the question comes, you're saying, now if you have BW, let's say now HANA comes in, now BW is moved out of that. So the two options here. So there's already a customer who is already leveraging BW and implemented entire warehouse and is using it. Now there should be some problem why he buys HANA, right? So the problem is performance. The performance of the queries is really bad, so he has decided to go for SAP HANA. Now I give you two options. One option is you scrap out the entire BW, install new HANA database, rebuild all the logics, rebuild all the modeling again, and then do reporting. That is one option. Suppose if it is BW, if you want to extract sales order, do we have ready-made LO extractor? If you want to extract deliveries, you have ready-made extractor. Suppose if you are using HANA, if I'm using BODS, I can use data source. But if you want to re-implement that logic again, it is going to be real complex. If I'm using SLT, where I can't extract data source, I'll have to extract data from table only. If I have to bring in all the tables and re-implement the logic of LO extractor, it is not so easy. So again, it will take 5 years of time to get the data warehouse ready. By the time BANA comes in, that's the problem. That is one option. One more option, you want performance, right? User is least bothered whether my data is stored in HANA or my data is stored in BW. He wants performance. Other option is you have existing BW just like that. Within 3 weeks, I'll take out the old database and replace that with the new HANA database. I will lift the data from the old database and shift it to the new HANA database, and I'll connect this HANA database to the existing BW. Now we'll have new BW or old BW running on HANA database. This is one. It will take around 3 weeks for one instance. You'll have development, quality, production. So approximately 3 months project, and you have. Now which gives him ROI more? He has invested a lot of money on HANA. Within 3 months of time, he is able to get that performance out. Now tell me. So BW is not going anywhere. BW will be the main one. Okay. Still, the value of BW is increased with HANA coming in, with the combination of hybrid with BW on HANA. BW HANA వచ్చింది BW వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. HANA is a database. HANA is a database. BW is a data warehousing application, EDW application, which will have all the functional. So now, do you have like scheduling of process chains in HANA? BW, database. అంతవరకు. But it's an in-memory database which can really give you a lot of difference in the performance. So now from BW 7.3 we have flexibility of having BW sitting on top of HANA. Now you want to get the performance, lift and shift the database onto HANA. That's it. You get it?
Good.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
a question here.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between like a standard BW on top of SQL or Oracle database versus BW on HANA?
Yeah.
Is there any additional features enabled by SAP on HANA?
Yeah. See, now the question, what, let's not go topic, but let's clarify all the dots. What he says is, if I have my BW running on SQL Server database, that is one instance. Let's have another instance where BW is running on HANA. Will I have any difference in the functionalities or the concepts what I get in? Yes, you'll have a lot of difference. Because if you look at from BW 7.3, whatever the improvements there have been, it is from 7.3 we can start having HANA as a backend database for BWs. From then onwards, whatever the improvements has been made, like advanced DSO or open ODS view, all this is been most
Hello?
concepts.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Some background noise is coming, sir.
Now see, you all go on mute, then yeah. We are discussing on BW on SQL Server or BW on HANA. From BW 7.3, it starts supporting to have HANA as a backend database, and from then onwards, what are the new improvements or new developments is being done? It's all towards the development, towards the HANA capable, HANA compatible tool. So you have advanced DSO. Advanced DSO available only when you have HANA as a backend. Getting what I'm saying? HANA based you'll have composite provider, two things. You'll have local composite providers and HANA composite provider. HANA composite provider is only specific when you have HANA as a backend. That is one. And one more thing is, when we had SQL Server as a backend database, we never used to log into the database at all. We were always working on the application, BW only. But when I have BW with HANA combination, I would like leverage the modeling of BW as well as model, because HANA, apart from database, it can also be referred as a modeling environment. I would like leverage the modeling of BW and modeling of and HANA also together. So now if HANA comes in, I have flexible of leveraging HANA modeling and in-memory database, and I also have lots of the new concepts of BW only works with HANA as a backend database. So if you have HANA, you can enjoy those features. If you don't have HANA, you cannot enjoy those features. That's the concept. That is what they're trying to do. Okay.
I have one more question.
Yeah, please.
I mean, with the now we have S4 HANA, so there are a lot of simplification is happening on the backend side. Yeah. So number of tables are coming down and all this aspect. So how it is going to impact the existing, say for example, we discussed about logistics data sources.
Yeah.
So with simplified logistics, probably the data source, how the delta logic, whatever is built in current logistics data sources would change.
Yeah, I got your question. See, the question was, it's if S4 HANA comes in, what will be the effect on the other data warehousing applications or the solutions here?
Yeah, like for example, instead of BW, they can directly go with BODS or SLT.
Yeah. See, when I say S4 HANA, it's not separate application. It's like business suite more compatible towards HANA. That's it. When I say S4 HANA, it's like normal SAP business suite more compatible towards HANA. For example, ECC application more compatible towards HANA. That is S4 HANA. And now we had FICO, right? They came out with saying simplified finance. So what they've done is they have simplified the processing of FICO functionality. They call it as simplified finance. In future, we'll start getting simplified production, simplified sales, and also. And then aware, it's all ECC, more compatible towards HANA is what S4 HANA is. Now,
BW effect
now say I've got ECC application more compatible towards HANA now. Let's say instead of customer having ECC is going for S4 HANA. So in that case, we'll have BW or not? That's the question. In that case, we'll have to implement a data warehousing with HANA or IQ, yes or no? That's the question. So my question, number of tables will go down, because what they say is, since HANA has got columnar storage of database, I'm not really worried about normalizing database. because of the way it stores data in case of columnar storage, we'll discuss later. But in case of columnar storage, you're not really worried about normalization. I can just dump my data just like that without even worried about one-to-one, one-to-many relational table. So what SAP has done is they've identified a lot of columns of the tables not being used. They've reduced the number of tables and they're trying to make the table more denormalized because my database is HANA, which is supporting columnar storage. That's their point of focus. Instead of storing in a lot of tables, then worry about joining at the runtime, let me put all data into single table. My runtime of processing the data is much faster. That is their target. So previously, our worry was denormalizing it, but even though it is denormalized, since it is columnar storage, I'm not wasting my database space. That's the point. Now, if this is the case, say now, do I need BW or not? That's the question. So my question is, if I have a customer with S4 HANA there, if he's got only S4 HANA, instead of implementing a data warehousing, why don't you do reporting on that HANA itself? He's got S4 application or ECC compatible application sitting on HANA. So all the tables of ECC or S4 on the HANA database. So leverage the same HANA database on top of, instead of doing any provisioning, leverage the same tables or same application tables, build HANA models on those tables and then do reporting straight away. Why do I need another data warehousing? You getting what I'm saying? If there's a customer who's already got S4 application sitting on top of HANA there, all the application tables of S4 is sitting in the underlying HANA database itself and the application schema. Now leverage the tables of that application schema and then build your virtualization models like attribute view, calculation view, analytical view, and then do report with view. Why do I need BW? Why do I need BW on HANA? Why do I need another HANA? Right? But the question now comes is, if I need to integrate this data with other non-SAP systems, this is suitable, this is fine if he's trying to do reporting only on the data what is available in that particular S4 HANA system. Let's say I've got North America data in this system, Europe data in another SAP system, let's say Asia Pacific data is in another mainframe system. Then if I need to integrate all this, two cases, either bring all those data into this HANA database by using SLT or BODS, get all those data into this particular HANA database and then do reporting on top of it. If I do that, the database size becomes huge, which has been leveraged for OLTP processing. So again, I need to go with what? Warehouse. So it depends on situation. If there is a customer only with ECC, no other applications, we can also suggest them saying lift and shift your database of ECC to HANA. Then all the application tables of ECC are in the underlying HANA database itself. You can leverage HANA Live, which is a RDS, Rapid Deployment Solutions. The SAP has given something called HANA Live. Assuming all the ECC tables are there in the HANA database, and they have given ready-made HANA models, we can use those models and then do reporting. I can deploy HANA Live in that case. But this will make sense only if the customer has got only ECC. If he has to integrate data from multiple applications, that may not make sense. Because if you look at customers like BMW, they've got 360 applications. Then, ultimately again, you end up implementing data warehousing either with separate HANA instance or with the same HANA instance what is in the back end of S4 or ECC. Okay.
So if we are using BW older version like 3.x, then is it possible to use backend as HANA?
Only from BW 7.3 SP5 we can have HANA as a backend database. Say for example, if there is a customer who has got BW 3.5, if he wants to leverage the performance of HANA, first of all he has to upgrade their BW system from BW 3.5 to 7.3 minimum and then migrate the database. So what generally they do is, generally they migrate to 7.x and from there they do upgrade and migration together. Some DMO, there is something called database migration option, which can perform upgrade, but if it is 3.5 it cannot do. If it is from 7.x, DMO can combine both upgrade and migration together. But if it's 3.5, you have to handle upgrade separately, migration of database separately. Okay. Okay. And that's what next we can also see. HANA is a database, right? So we can use that as a database for any application you want. Similar way, what SAP has done is, so we can, from BW 7.3 SP5, we can have BW having HANA as a backend database, or we can also have SAP ECC sitting on HANA. And this would be future, what they're trying to look at. It will be one single HANA platform where all your applications will be deployed on top of it. BW, ECC, okay HANA mide. As soon as your ECC creates your transaction, the table is in the same database, and the same table will be consumed by BW. No duplicate, no data being stored duplicately. This will be ఇప్పుడు కాదు ముందుకు ఇప్పుడే కాదు future what they there will be one single HANA platform where they'll have multiple applications still sitting on top of the same platforms, and the data will be shared across multiple applications. Okay, అంటే OLTP applications can sit on HANA, OLAP also can sit on HANA. Now meaning ante బొమ్మ serious గా. Yeah.
So what is the concept of this OLAP and OLTP?
OLTP takes care about processing all the transactions, and OLAP takes care about analyzing all the transactions what has been processed with OLTP. So you can understand this is more like a transaction system. This is more like an analytical system. So what I mean, any kind of application can sit on HANA, whether it is transaction processing system or analytical systems. Yeah, next use case, we can also use HANA as accelerator bus. When you say accelerator, it's like you want to speed up some things. Okay, let's say this is a case now. I've got ECC application, and I've got it running on non-HANA data, let's say SQL Server or whatever it is. Okay, then what you want is you would like, let's say there is certain business functionality of ECC which is running slow, and you want to improve the performance of that particular business process only. For example, in ECC, I have some ABAP reports designed on COPA reporting, or let's say on CE1 table, which is actual, which is a huge table, and the performance is really bad. So you would like to use HANA just to improve the performance of this particular process. Let's say when they're processing their sales order, we have process called ATP, availability to promise. And that process is taking a lot of time in my business. So I want to leverage HANA just to implement that particular process. That is like leveraging HANA as accelerator. Okay, so what I'll do is we install HANA as a secondary HANA database and push down all the tables from the non-HANA into the HANA database through SLT with all the relevant tables. Let's say I want to improve ATP process. All the tables which is used by ATP process will be pushed on to HANA database, and then I'll customize my ABAP program of ECC to start referring data, pushing down by scripting. I'll push down the logic into HANA database. So the logic process of ATP will be triggered by a stored procedure in HANA, and then improving the performance. So this is the kind of functionality where I'm using HANA just to speed up certain business functionality. There will be some cases where, for example, if you look at Bank of America, they're just using HANA only for one purpose. They have certain data loads going from BW to BPC, okay, and it takes 45 minutes, and they want it to be done in 15 minutes. That's the requirement. మొత్తం చేసి కాకుండా అలా HANA పెట్ట 20 minutes వరకు ఉంది. ఇంకా they have to improvise it to make it to 15. So in this case, they're using HANA just to improve certain business functionality what they wanted. So in that case, we refer it as using HANA as accelerator. You want to accelerate certain business functionalities. Okay. And this is what you, so mention about database and accelerator. And next is about what? Cloud. And we can also have HANA set up on cloud also. Generally, there are certain applications which are not licensed for cloud, but HANA is also like has got licensed for cloud. So SAP accepts to you place it on the cloud also. So when I say cloud, it's all virtual. It's all about specifying virtual VMs. And, we had done other day we had done sizing. That was not for HANA. That was for IQ. So we are supposed to tell them how many, what is your hardware sizing you want. So when we said we'll implementing this warehouse with BODS and IQ, and then let's say BO as a reporting. So and they would like to set up that on the cloud. Okay, they got their own private cloud. They want to set up that on the cloud. Specify what is hardware sizing you want. How many? When it's a sizing, there are mainly 2 points they would have. 3 points you can. The 3 points they are trying to focus on. One is how many VMs do you want? Nothing but how many cores you need, and how much is the RAM you want, and how much is the storage you want. Getting this, what the three things majorly you're, when you got to indicate the hardware sizing, you majorly focus on three things. One is how many of CPUs do you want, or how many cores do you want, and what is the RAM size you want, and what is the disk, the storage disk, the fixed storage disk you want, SAN. Okay? And there'll be we'll have another SAN, which will be network storage, NAS, which will be network storage. That is different again. Dedicate to the system, how much of storage do you want? That's what it is. So what they do is you basically have some calculations. Let's say if it is HANA, what it is, you got to push some other database data into HANA, right? When you say you're implementing HANA as a data warehouse, you already have your data in ECC or some non-SAP or whatever, wherever it is. You know the size of the database. You know the size of the footprint. You take the footprint size, let's say they say 100 GB. Now you got to place that 100 GB of data into HANA data. Then you understand. When you say implementing warehouse with HANA, you would like to extract data from some different source and put into this, right? So you already know what is the size of the footprint of the database, and based on it, they start calculating this size bus of the HANA database. They have some calculations. They say it's approximately, they take 1/4 of it. So if it is 100 GB, they assume that HANA can compress the data by 1/4 time minimum. Okay, so the storage I would need is 25 GB. Then they'll double it for another system tables. Then again double of that. They'll use some formula. They decide I want so much of RAM. Okay, and then once they decide about RAM, and there'll be some calculation for every core you need to have 8 GB of RAM something. If I want 64 GB, then I'll have to go with 16 cores or 16 VMs. Then I'll say I want a server with 16 VMs or 16 GB RAM or 128 GB RAM, and this is a disk size I want. Disk size is generally 4 times of your RAM. If RAM is say 64 GB, and 64 GB into 4 will be your disk size. And you also need to specify one more size about log. What is this? One time of your RAM is your log size. So log over disk, data volume over disk, RAM, CPU. So generally they calculate the RAM size based on the footprint size of the source, and then they have some additional calculations. And then 4 times of that will be your hard disk, and 1 time of that will be your log volume. And for each 8 GB RAM, you will need to have 1 core and one virtual CPU. So when you say cloud, it's all virtual. You basically they give, but that is the size you need. But when you order for so much of storage or so much of RAM or so much of virtual CPU in cloud, they would allocate everything, and you have to configure. They say each machine will be of one size, say 1 core with 2 GB or 4 GB RAM. You have to group all those and formulate an instance what you want in cloud. It's all virtual, and then on top of it you can start installing SAP which can be shared across. That is what when you say cloud HANA cloud. We have flexibility of setting up HANA cloud also, virtually shared. If you can see this. I don't know where is that. If you see, this is how you do the sizing. You specify how many of core you need, what is the RAM and what is the disk, and then for backup how much of storage. Normally for backups and all those you need express storage, which will basically go with NAS, network attached storage. Like say there will be separate storage which will be seen as you'll find it as a drive. Like how do you find your E drive or F drive? You'll find one more drive which is actually a different network storage drive. You'll just find it as a drive, and then you can start using that storage also. Okay. And
so what is the difference between cloud on HANA and the simple HANA?
See, cloud, there are two things. Either you can install HANA in premises, like how we have. When it's on cloud, we can also set up HANA on cloud, and then that can be shared across. And you have your own hardware with you in your premises, and you install HANA, that is in premises. Okay. Instead of you having your own physical hardware, you're trying to hire a virtual hardware in cloud, and then you install HANA there, that is HANA on cloud. Okay. See, instead of having a physical hardware with you, what you do is you buy a physical virtual CPU in cloud, it's all virtual. Okay, dynamically that has been configured, and you install HANA on top of it. That becomes cloud. That's it. You can work on either HANA which is running on cloud. It's all same. Whether HANA running on in-premise also same. In-premise అంటే అన్ని కనిపిస్తుంటాయి. Cloud అంటే కనబడదు ఉంటుంది అంతే. అంతే difference.
Sir,
Yeah.
so you said about in-house and cloud.
Yeah.
Since we talk about speed, will there be a difference in the speed when we use it in-house and when it is in the cloud?
See,
is there a performance difference?
The difference would be on the network speed, right? Because see, ultimately, whether it is on cloud or in premises, the performance throughput of HANA would be same. But by what time the results are reached to the user will differ whether it is in what network. Yeah. Because see, when you say cloud, they'll have different types of clouds again. It will be private cloud, public cloud, wherever untai. It again depends on what kind of networking are you being connected to through that HANA. Suppose if you're getting connected to VPN, I think compare it, let's say if I got my HANA server in premises within my local LAN, if I'm connected to HANA which is in a cloud through connecting through VPN, obviously you would see some difference because of the networking speed. But the performance throughput of HANA would be pretty much same, but you would see some difference in the because of the network. Otherwise, it's pretty much same.
So it is not only mobile application cloud HANA?
No.
Specific for any.
I can have my BW on HANA is also sitting on cloud. I can have it on cloud also. Yeah, I can have a solutioning of a BODS with HANA and then BO reporting, everything set up on cloud also. Okay, nothing like only mobile to sit on now. Okay, now mixed approach. This is what I would think majority of the case you would have it. Okay, when I say mixed approach, you would have a case where HANA is used as a database for applications and also leveraged as a data mart also. That is complete hybrid. Okay. So for example, now look at the case here. I've got BW with HANA as a backend, and I'm using this HANA as a backend database for BW. At the same time, I also use normal data processing techniques and do HANA modeling also. That is like mixed approach. I'm leveraging HANA as a backend database for BW as well as a separate HANA instance as a data warehousing tool, and then I extract through SLT, DXI, put data straight away into HANA, do HANA models and mix up both BW modeling and HANA modeling. Possible? That's what we refer to as hybrid warehousing with both mix up of BW and HANA together. So look at this. If you look at this, so look at this. If you look at this kind of solutioning, I'm going to have my SAP or non-SAP systems. This only HANA. This pure HANA bus, where HANA is used as a data mart, where through SLT or BODS extract all the data and store into physical tables. On top of it, I create this virtual models, and top of it I do reporting. This is like normal native HANA. Okay, HANA has data mart. If you look at this case, I've got BW application running on HANA, and for as a nearline storage, I'm using Sybase IQ. We'll discuss on NLS later. So I'm using BW extraction mechanism in some cases where if I want to leverage standard business function, business content extractors, I use BW extraction to extract data into BW. Ultimately, what are the data I store into my BW DS or cubes? Ultimately, it is stored into what? Underlying HANA tables. And I can also use SLT or ETL, BODS, whatever, and extract of non-SAP or something and put into HANA tables directly. By leveraging BW tables or the tables what is going to replicate through SLT, whatever it is, I can mix up all this and create my HANA models. On top of it, I can do reporting. This is complete hybrid. And this is where we are using full HANA licensing. So I'm using that as a database. See, HANA has been leveraged as a database for BW, and the same way HANA is also leveraged as a data mart where I'm using ETL part and pushing data into HANA and then doing reporting on top of it. So I'll be doing reporting on BW. Some cases I'll be doing reporting on models also. This is what I would refer as hybrid. Okay, this is what I would refer it as mixed approach.
Sir,
Yeah.
before screen you shown to us that is SAP Studio or SAP HANA instead of SAP BW. So business is ready to look instead of BW. I mean BW no longer
Why not?
continue. Yeah.
You're asking me, are there customers who are looking
Yeah.
at this with native without BW? Yes. That's what I'm saying. If I'm looking at a customer who has got completely non-SAP applications and you want to build a warehouse, there's no point in going for BW because I'm not leveraging business content. If there are customers who doesn't have any of the SAP source and they want to build a warehouse implementation and huge data with real time they want, then I'll go with HANA directly. I'll not even use BW because if I'm leveraging ready-made standard business content BW makes sense. When I'm not using it, then I will implement my warehouse just with native HANA itself directly. Okay. I'll install HANA as a centralized database, collect all the data from different systems through BODS or SLT and push data into it and create virtual models and then do reporting. And if it's
not sure on
implementation.
not sure on SAP HANA. Yes, sir. Not sure on SAP HANA, but SAP HANA Studio also supporting modeling and everything.
Don't get confused with HANA and HANA Studio. HANA is a database. Okay. HANA Studio is a client.
Okay.
HANA Studio is a client application to work on. For example, if you have MS SQL Server, you have SQL Server database. Management Studio is a client tool to work on SQL Server database. HANA is a server. HANA Studio is a client application to work on HANA database. No, HANA Studio where software, HANA where software. HANA is a database. When you want what interact with HANA database start working, use HANA Studio. Now, for example, BW is a server. Now, when you want to work on BW, what do? You have SAP GUI. By installing SAP GUI, you'll get connected to BW and start working on. Same way, if you want to work on HANA, you install HANA Studio, which is a front-end client, and then you work in. HANA Studio where HANA server where HANA server. HANA work get it command prompt and working. So they've given one client-based tool, which is what HANA Studio, and then you log in and you start working on it. Confused about HANA Studio modeling is analysis not clear. Okay.
Sir, one more question regarding non-SAP. Sir, I have one question regarding when you say non-SAP platform.
Yeah.
Does that mean mainframe also come into the picture?
Anything. For example, there is a customer who's got applications running on mainframe with DB2 or DB6 as a backend database. Then there's no point in for me to implement warehouse with BW with HANA or BW because I'm not leveraging standard business content. I'll end up creating all those infobix, recreate all those infobix and build my products and then do reporting. Instead of doing that, if I set install HANA, which let's say data is huge, I can just replicate the data from DB2 tables into my HANA tables and formulate a schema. On top of those tables, I'll create my virtual models and then do reporting on top of it. So in this case, this would be more easier for me, right?
Yeah, and in mainframe application, it is not only that we concept. Will that?
What is it?
Flat file.
Yeah. HANA can extract data from once I give the combination of BODS and HANA for you, you can extract anything from any system almost because BODS gives you flexibility of extract data from almost anything for you, whether it is flat file, CSV file, .csv, any database, anything was XML, anything it can. Yeah.
So in that case, SLT will not come into the
because
come in line.
SLT also can come in. See, there are two ways. When you want to do a data you were discussing on how do I bring data into HANA. You can extract data from SAP or non-SAP data into HANA by using any of these data processing techniques. Like I can use BODS as ETL tool. I can use SLT. I can use DXC mechanism. I can use smart data access. I can use smart data quality and integration also. If I use BODS, I can extract data from table, file, anything it can do. Okay. SAP or non-SAP. If I use SLT also, even by using SLT, I can extract data from SAP databases or non-SAP database also in real time or batch mode, but only from tables only. I can also use SLT in this case. Hello? when I want to extract data from DB2, I can extract through SLT, I can extract through BODS also. There's no difference here. But when the source is an SAP, if I'm using SLT, I can only replicate tables or views. But if I want to extract data from data sources, BODS should be the case, or DX, another mechanism of direct extraction should be the case. Because SLT cannot be leveraged to extract data from data sources. Only a table, it can replicate a table or a view. In the latest support pack of SP5, you can extract from view, not database view. No flexibility of data source here. That's what. But if you're extracting from a non-SAP, if it is DB2, it's always a table. Either you extract from BODS or SLT should not make a difference for you. The only thing is, SLT gives you flexibility of bringing data in real time for you into HANA. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. My name is Sam. In what scenario we'll go for HANA Studio? So let's say we have SAP BW 7.3 system and we have HANA database. So in that case, we are going to use HANA Studio.
Yeah. See, its question is, let's say it's got BW running on HANA. Okay. In that case, in those kind of BW projects, will I still use HANA Studio? That is your question, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends on the project. So, for example, if I'm working on a project with BW on HANA, if I really want to leverage the functionality of both BW and HANA, like say, for example, I would like to leverage HANA-based composite providers. If I need to create HANA-based composite providers, I need to get into BW modeling tools of HANA Studio. Then I need HANA Studio. If I need to create advanced DSO, I need HANA Studio in this. If I need to create open ODSV with more functional of drag and drop, I need HANA Studio in that case. Yeah, getting what I'm saying. But even though having HANA, if I just want to use normal BW function like ODS queue, in that case you may not need Studio. Getting what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just okay. Let me just finish this. And then we can also use HANA for developing what? Custom applications. I said HANA is a platform. It has got its own access engine, application server, where you can develop your own custom applications and deploy on top of access engines. Right? So if you're developing applications with SAP UI5 and then OData services, JavaScripting and XML and SQL scripting at the backend, that is native framework. If you're developing application with ABAP or .NET or Java something, C, then that becomes non-native applications. Okay, boss? Now the logic is, you know about using HANA in all these cases. So when you look at job opportunities, so I can have a job where the requirement is they want me to work HANA as a data mart, or leveraging HANA as a database for BW or ECC, or they want me to work as an for implementing accelerator, or they want me to work on a cloud or mixed approach or native development. These are the different cases. You can have job descriptions which might be asking for either of this. Okay. Now my point of analysis. Okay. You would have this native development will require a lot of coding with more of HTML, JavaScripting, all this. Even though it requires a lot of coding, that will be rare. I'm not saying it is rare because it is tough, okay, or it's because it needs coding. Why I'm saying it is rare? When will I go for that? When I want to develop my own applications, right? But name the requirement. There are hundreds of applications available in the market. So I've got two options. Either I take that application and use it. Either I go about building my own custom application. Simple question. You know, in HANA, I can do native. I can develop my own applications. Given that opportunity, will you develop an application like ECC again? Will you develop application like BW again? You might develop some small application which is an extension towards that ECC. For example, there is a case like this. See, you have ECC. In the business, let's say you have a requirement, you raise a purchase requisition, then you raise a purchase order. And this order is sent to, let's say, a lot of suppliers. Now, suppliers has to do quotes. There's no interface, right? They have their own system. They send their quotation separately. Then you type manually, the purchasing team will type in the quotations manually into the system, then it is evaluated. Suppose I don't like the person X, okay, he actually quoted me only 10,000, but I type in as 1 lakh, then what happens? he loses that order. Yes or no? I don't want that to happen. What I can do, I can develop my own custom application with HANA, where once the purchase order is raised, it sends a link to the vendor, and vendor can just click on that link and opens up a browser-based application which is built with SAP UEFI, and they can specify the code there, they submit, that goes and sits into backend HANA database. Can I automate the process of the bidding and all those stuff? I don't have this functionality of bidding and all those within the ECC, because that is a different vendor should log in. For a different vendor, I don't give him access for SAP ECC, right? So I want to build a web portal-like application where vendor can log in and he can give his code. So for this small extension kind of stuff, I might go with developing my own custom application. So I've got ECC running on HANA. So I wanted to extend certain functionality, so I can develop my own application. But I may not develop full-fledged application altogether, right? So that's where it will be rare. And most of your SAP customers, they've got BW licensing available. They still would like to have, because it's already been implemented from long, and so why are they moving from, when they're happy with BW, they're happy. If they're not happy, they have got facing a lot of performance issues, they would like to migrate HANA, and they have got two options. They either take this BW out completely and then set up a new HANA, which will take almost 4 to 5 years for them to have the ROI. Other option is lift and shift the database to HANA. And then you leverage both BW modeling and HANA modeling together, we'll have mixed approach. Now tell me which is a major of the case. Getting this? So what I feel is majority of the time you would have job requirement majorly on implementing native HANA, like HANA modeling and HANA provisioning, like implementing HANA as a data warehousing solution. Okay. Or let's say already have existing BW running and then you want to lift and shift the database, you might have to do a database migration from non-HANA database to HANA database. Okay. Or you might have to, let's say it's already migrated and you would like to work on BW which is with mixed approach. You would like to leverage BW modeling and HANA modeling and mix up both and get more performance out of it. And that is a use cases you will have majorly. You might have a native development, but would be very rare. SAP would have challenges. You can develop your own applications and give it to me, I'll buy and to open up around it. You can think about developing your own custom applications and then you can sell it into the market. That is like own product development that gets into that sector. The majority of the case, you would have this implementing HANA as a database or data mart or accelerator or using mixed approaches. That's where your focus should be on. So majority of the job description would be on that requirement. Yeah. And then just 5 minutes. Course content, I don't know. So this will be our course content, what we'll be touching, like HANA introduction and then why it's fast, it's okay. Then we'll getting into different use case of what we discussed just now. Use case of HANA, then introduction to HANA Studio, and then we'll get into database as it is. First, HANA is a database, right? We should learn that as a database. So I'll learn about schema, tables, views, triggers, sequences, column views, all this. And then we'll get into basic SQL. Then we'll get into detailed about stored procedures. We'll get in detail about learning about SQL scripting. I'll get into very detail. And then we'll get into HANA modeling, learning about all those attribute views, analytical views, and calculation views. You get into all those, every checkbox I'll touch in almost, okay. Then we'll get into analytical privileges. It's more of a similar to your analysis operations in BW, like role-based, like you want to control data level security. And similar way, if you want to implement that in HANA, we'll have something called analytical privileges. Then we get into decision tables, more of what-if analysis and simulation purposes. Then we'll see performance tuning of, let's say, build your HANA models. How do we improve the performance of those models still? Text analysis, we're not going to touch it. I'm going to give you some videos. You can just refer to. I don't want to waste a lot of time. Text analysis is processing of unstructured data. Okay. And then I get into BO reporting. I'm not touching all the reporting tools. I'll just show you how do we consume HANA models in all the reporting flavors. Okay. Design Studio or IDT or whatever it is, or WebB. And then we get into data provisioning techniques with BODS, SLT, DXC, file imports, and flat files, smart data access, smart data quality integration. BODS, it's not full-fledged. I'm just going to show you how BODS can be leveraged. Okay. We're not going to touch in every point in BODS. Okay. And then we'll get into importing. When it's importing, exporting, how do we transport HANA database from one system to another system? Then HANA native development. For this, I've developed one video of 4 hours already for all the applications, because there's no point in learning coding in the class, because you'll not be really using it. So I developed one video for 4 hours just explicitly on HANA native development. I made it very, very easy. Normal language, we made it very easy. 4 hours video. You can just refer to that always. Yeah. And then we'll get into BW code by HANA with all the options of BW. I'm not teaching BW again. I'll be touching only the new options what we have in BW with HANA coming as a backend. Okay, only the add-on. Yeah. And with all the ABAP managed database procedures with ABAP, HANA transformations, advanced DSO, OpenODSU, all this. Then we'll get out to ECC powered by if you have a customer only with ECC on HANA, what kind of implementations can we do? And that will be on ECC, what we're trying to touch on. And
sir, can we?
Yeah.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
Can we do reporting with BEX HANA modeling on a data warehouse?
Can we do reporting on?
No. BEX. No longer use BEX on the.
Yeah. Say for example, I've got BW on HANA. Okay. So I've got BW sitting on top of HANA database. Let's say you created your HANA model like attribute, like say analytical view or calculation view. With 7.4 SP11, we can straight away create BEX report on that HANA model directly. With SP11 7.4, we can create a BEX query directly on HANA model. Or other options is like I can create a composite provider on top of this HANA model and then create a BEX report on composite provider. That is other option. And one more option is whenever you deploy your HANA models, it does create a column view in this big schema. This on top of this column view, I can create an OpenODS view and do reporting on OpenODS view. That is one more option. I can use virtual queue based on HANA model. That is one more option. I can use ODP source system based on HANA views connecting to a remote queue and then do report. There are a lot of options of doing reporting on HANA models. You can create BEX queries. No problem. We'll see.
So in that case,
yeah.
One more question. In that case, query designer it is not required. Correct.
Without query designer, you cannot leave this. Okay. Now some people say BEX query design is gone. No. BEX query design will be the most critical one. Even after having HANA.
So after that only the.
No. Okay. There is option.
So it is a totally.
You can also.
It is totally related to.
Exactly. See, there are two options. You can either create BEX query using BEX connection. You can consume that BEX query in the WebP. That is one option. Or either directly HANA model can be. You can create a IDT universe on top of HANA model and then consume it for reporting. Either ways you can do. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I have
so it is totally related to BW related HANA, right, sir?
One by one. That was related to BW HANA. Yeah. Next question. Yeah.
A general question. I'm from CRM.
Yeah.
Will this course will be helpful for me to learn?
Why do you want to learn HANA then? No, any specific reason you want to learn HANA?
The new technology. That's why I'm just going through it. And I came across this one. Is it useful for the CRM side, like anything?
You're passionate about technology, then you can learn, okay? But as it is, you may not really fetch much from this, because if you say CRM, even if a CRM application sits on HANA, you will not be, as a CRM consultant, you will be working on the application. You will not be really getting into the backend database. They'll really not fetch.
Yeah.
But out of passion, you want to just know what this HANA is, like what you've been hearing, then you can learn, okay? Only passion.
And moreover everything BW, moreover everything I'm seeing in the course content is BW and DO. That's why I was this thing.
Yeah, because HANA is a database which will be used for implementing data warehousing majorly. So in that case, it gets integrated more with BO and BW. Yeah. And if I want to use it with CRM, I'll just use that as a database for CRM. You'll have CRM application running on HANA. So even though it is running on HANA, you'll have ready all the CRM tables or data dictionary will sit into HANA schema, and on top of that, SAP has given some ready-made HANA live, ready-made models, and which can be used, and we can do reporting on that HANA directly of CRM. Yeah.
But if you don't have the knowledge, also I can learn this course, right?
Yeah, the function
the BW
will not fetch much. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir,
yeah.
Sir, I have one question. So contents till 19.9. So it's again, I think, similar to HANA modeling as we know BW concept, similar to like that, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to discuss. As a BW consultant from 20 onwards, we no need to, just I think powering HANA. So
no. The BW consultant, you have to learn this more.
Okay.
But if you have to learn this more, you should know. You see, BW. Now with the concept till 19, you will learn HANA. Then with this concept, you got to mix up both the BW and HANA together. That's how it is. And the question is, if you don't know BW, if you can still learn HANA, yes, you can still learn HANA because except this topic, it's all common.
Okay, sir. Until 1993, it's again I think a concept, data warehouse concept like BW, right? 1903, it's again HANA
not
modeling.
Data warehouse, modeling, and then you'll have application development, then you'll have data provisioning. Yeah, concept is same, but it's all different mechanisms.
Okay.
And then people can still go for HANA, but only thing is, if the job description says I want a BW with HANA, you will not be eligible for it. But if they just say I want a HANA native developer or a HANA native modeler, then you're okay. Okay, because only for the use case where it says BW or HANA, you're not there. Even in that case, what they do as HANA consultant, they take you and you'll have BW consultant, both have to work closely and then that's how it works out. Okay. So you can still go for HANA, BW, but only thing is you will not be able to justify the role of BW with HANA combination. Otherwise, it's all fine. Yeah. Podam part 2 hours in there.
Sir, are you going to say the course content to us?
Course content, I'll send the course content, no problem. And see, you'll have
because it will be helpful. Yeah.
See, one thing I just want to remember, I'll send you course content. Every day the class is recorded. You'll get the video of the class. Okay. And one more point I want to stress is, I may not be available in classroom for long. Means I, due to requirement of the projects, I might be going to on site. So if I'm not there available, it will be online only. I cannot guarantee 100%. The entire course will go on in the classroom. If I'm moving on to some other place, you have to attend online. That's the only option.
Sir, this is Rajesh. I have two questions. One, are you covering on anything on BPC, HANA on BPC? And second question is like, are we going to get any remote server access?
Good, very good question. See, if the question is on BPC HANA, there is no difference. Okay, actually, BW sits on HANA and BPC sits on BW. So for BPC, BW will be the backend, and there will be something on planning kit. There will be some node what the basis will install, and when they set up the planning kit, all the planning functions are executed deep in HANA. That's it. For you, it is all same in the front end. Okay. The planning applications will get executed deep in HANA database. And it's like pushing down the logic of planning applications deep into HANA database when you install planning it, and it improves the performance of planning. But for you, it's all same. It's all same real-time queue. Which it's all the same.
Yeah, I was more stressing on the PAK, as you said, like planning application kit, the planning enabled query concept.
You don't do anything. There's no difference. They only set up a planning kit, and then it obviously starts pushing that planning applications deep into HANA database and improves your planning functionality. That's it. But for you, when you're configuring the planning functions, it is one and the same. You will not find any difference. And what was your next question? Server access. We are not providing any server access, but there's a person called Vasu. And he will be the person to provide server access. I'll give his number. So.
Yeah.
I'm typing. 9700816313. His name is Vasu, and he'll be the person to provide you the server access. I think he'll charge you 1300 or something. 1300, yeah. 9700816313.
Sir, I have a question here.
So actually, how much BW is required to learn the HANA? I mean, like, another question is that is BW is mandatory for the HANA?
First, my answer to that, BW is not mandatory to learn HANA. If you're learning HANA without BW, it means you will not be able to touch this topic 20. Will be of no use for you. And till 19, it will be of use. And there are still jobs available only for this 19 topics only, except 20 also. Because if I look at the use case of HANA native development or HANA's data mart, okay, or accelerator, that does not need a BW knowledge in that case.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. One more question.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to provide any migration from like say?
Yeah. Yeah. There is a topic here, right? I get in very detailed into migration. I run lots of detailed information on how to do we migrate, why we have to migrate, then what are the different steps database migrations. Then I run this complete. How do we do sizing? And I get a what all nodes they apply, and then what are the kind of post migration activities, or what is it we convert. What are the optimizations you have to carry out in BW after migrations? I do all this. That's what
okay. Then it is going to be covered. Perfect.
Full cover. Okay. Next.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
The PowerPoint presentation also you are going to share?
Yeah. I'll send every PowerPoint presentation. Yes. Okay.
Modeling and administration. There are two concepts.
So here I get a question saying, so when I choose HANA, I have two options. I can either get into HANA modeling as a modeler, or I can get into HANA administration. Right? See, both are good, okay. But only thing is, say if you're a DBA, if you're already a DBA, database administrator, with more of knowledge on Linux, because HANA sits on SUSE Linux. Okay? If you're really good at Linux admin, OS level, and then you are good at DBA, any database knowledge like SQL Server, Oracle, database administrator, with these two things, you have to get into SAP HANA administration. That is a way. Topping. If you're already at database administration, you have knowledge onto this, and you got admin, you are more into admin of Linux, which will be similar to SUSE Linux, then you can get into this part of it, HANA administration, installations, configurations, migrations, those kind of stuff. And if you're more of a developer or modeler or programmer, you get into this as HANA modeler and work on just native HANA, or work on native HANA or BW on HANA. This will be the point. So developers will choose this path, and more of an administrative basis guys who are into database administration, they choose this path. దీంట్లో లెక్క ఎక్కువ వస్తుందని చెప్పి మనం దానికి పోకూడదు. మన ఫీల్డ్ మందే, వాళ్ళ ఫీల్డ్ వాళ్ళు. అట్లా. ఓకే. ఎందుకంటే
okay sir, just to reiterate
one point please. Because see, there are a lot of people who say I know HANA, I know BW, I know ABAP. అది కాదు కావాల్సింది. I am master of HANA and I have got knowledge on others. That is what expected. They want expertise. నాకు అన్నీ వచ్చి ఎవరు తీసుకోవడం, నాకు ఒకటే వచ్చు, బాగా వచ్చు, వేరే ఎవరు నాకు తెలుసు అనేటోడు కావాలి. ఎవ్రీ వన్ వాంట్స్ అన్ ఎక్స్పర్టైజ్, అంటే మొత్తం A to Z వీడియో చేసుకుంటాడు అనేటోడు కావాలి. కస్టమర్ దగ్గరికి పోయి కస్టమర్ మోడల్ చెప్పి ప్రోడక్ట్ తెచ్చుకుని డిజైన్ చేసి, రిక్వైర్మెంట్ గ్యాదరింగ్ చేసి, డెవలప్ చేసి, మొత్తం చేసి, టెస్టింగ్ చేసి, లైవ్ చేసి వచ్చాను అనేటోడు కావాలి. నీకు లెక్క ఎంత కావాలో తెప్పిస్తాను, నీకు ఎంత కావాలో చెప్పండి. ఇఫ్ యూ క్యాన్ డూ దిస్, దే రెడీ టు పే యూ ఎనీ సాలరీ. నువ్వు డిమాండ్ చేయొచ్చు అంతే. దీంట్లో సాలరీ ఎక్కువ, ఏ దాంట్లోనే సాలరీ ఎక్కువ ఉంది, నీ కెపాసిటీని బట్టండి.
couldn't follow you.
Yeah, now tell me, what is it?
Just wanted to reiterate, as I am working as a developer, I mean as an ABAPer. So will this role be suitable for me if I move on with this HANA?
Yeah. You have to get into this line, into HANA modeler, or this course would be much suitable for you to get into this line as HANA modeler native.
Okay sir, would you please differentiate again what will be the role of HANA modeler?
HANA modeler is about, this is what I'm saying. Say you won't implement HANA as a data warehousing solution. Let's say data is in your SAP systems or non-SAP. You understand the source database, and we would use all the data processing techniques like BODS or SLT or DX, different data extraction mechanisms, and extract all the data, get into physical storage of HANA tables, and build your database. On top of this HANA database, you'll build your virtualization models using attribute view, HANA view. It's all about drag and drop, and you build your graphical modeling. And then on top of this, you do reporting and present it for the business user. This is what it will be, HANA modeler or native HANA.
Okay, sir. In this case, I'll be open for the job of HANA modeler, native HANA, and BW on HANA as well. Then I don't have knowledge on BW that much.
You'll be open only for these two.
These two, yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you.
And person with BW will be open for all the three. That's all.
Sir, one more thing.
Microsoft undi, SAP BW backend. Generally, it will be BW. Because they want planning. What is the question? Yeah.
Yeah, one more question is that, like, I'm a BW consultant. So
people who are at online, you're sitting at home relaxedly. Now here, there are a lot of people who are sitting, they want to move out. Can we finish it another 10 minutes? Yeah? Any other question? No, finish it now. Yeah.
Okay.
Question next.
Yeah. For covering 20th topic, how many years experience we need BW consultant?
Covering?
20th topic.
Yeah. In years experience also, if you know Cube, ODS, DTP, transformation, BEX reporting, or if you have knowledge, that is enough. Yeah. Okay, na?
Okay.
Okay, it's not about having 10 years or 15 years, okay? It's about do you carry that information or not? No, seriously. There is a person with 4 years is getting drawing 22 lakhs. Okay? 4 years, 22 lakhs. There is a person 11 years drawing 7 lakhs. Difference in this company difference in the monthly difference in the monthly difference. 4 years guy drawing 22 lakhs. So it's all depends.
Sir, over here, when we are you going to cover the entire HANA modeler concepts, like whatever the designing, like, you know, engines, that, this and all?
Enter, yes, yes.
Yeah, and one more thing, that per day, how many hours that we are having the class, and what about the weekends classes that we are?
Very good. Every day it will be 1.5 hours. Generally it will be 7 days, but from this time I want to relax on Sunday. So let's have class only for 6 days a week. Sunday will relax, and this course will go on for 2 months. Every day it will be morning 7 to 8:30, 6 days a week. Sunday you will not have class. On Saturday we will just spend more, 7 to 10 or so.
Saturday to 7 to 8:30, correct?
No, Saturday 7 to 10.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay, Saturday 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours.
Okay,
and it will be 2 months.
So will there be any weekend classes only, sir?
Weekend you'll have class on Saturday. Only weekend. No. Only one batch will be normal. Okay.
Okay.
So class is going to start by tomorrow? Correct?
From tomorrow you will be having normal class. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like normal class in the sense?
Until day one. Day one. Marrying. Yes, all like doubt right. So we'll meet tomorrow again. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Just last question, please. Sir, Monday to Saturday it will be from 7. Monday to Friday it will be from 7 to 8:30, and Saturday it will be from 7 to 10, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sunday will be off.
Sunday will be off. Yeah.
Okay.